The month of May is American Stroke Month, and it's very important to make sure you know the signs of a stroke so you can act fast. Dr. Rich Ferguson is the Chief of Neurology at ECMC. Doctor, good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's take the conversation to the very start. Just tell us what a stroke is and what makes it happen.
There are various types of stroke. There are strokes that are associated with too much blood, and then there are strokes where there's too little blood. So there can either be hemorrhage in the brain, or there can be a blood clot that forms and creates a disturbance of the brain.
In medicine, how often are you able to recognize the signs in the days and weeks and months leading up to a stroke?
Sometimes we do. Sometimes patients have transient ischemic attacks where they may have a mini stroke or symptoms that last temporarily, and the blood flow is restored very quickly. So patients may have warning signs of a stroke that lead up in the weeks or days beforehand. Oftentimes not. Oftentimes the stroke happens suddenly, hence the term stroke.
Yeah. So
Right.
the really important stuff we want people to know is the signs when somebody is having a stroke. What are some of those signs to recognize?
Well, the American Heart Association and the American Stroke Association have the acronym FAST. So there's face, arm, speech, time. So basically, you look at the person, and if there's a drooping of the face or asymmetry of the face, that would be a sign. If they have trouble moving an arm, if you ask them to raise their arms up and one arm drifts, that could be evidence of a stroke. If they have trouble with their speech, either slurring of their speech or trouble finding the right words, or using word salad, words don't make sense, those would all be signs. And then time is, if you recognize those, you have to call 911 right away because time is of the essence.
And would you typically see all of those symptoms together, or could you just see one of them?
You could see, so that's an acronym that basically catches many strokes, doesn't catch all of them. So strokes can happen where there's vision trouble, and obviously that's not within the FAST acronym. Vision, there could be just isolated trouble with vertigo or balance difficulties. So that doesn't catch all of them. I would say if there's any sudden event that happens that you're concerned about that's not explained, you call 911. Don't go to sleep. Don't don't ignore it. Call 911 because time is of the essence.
And you mentioned call 911. Is there anything else in the interim time before first responders get there that you can do for somebody who's
Really not,
having a stroke?
just staying safe basically and knowing what time it happened. It's crucially important for us to know what time because we have certain medications that we can use and certain procedures that can be used, but they're very much time-based. So if someone is around who has the information, sometimes we don't have the information and we have to guess, and we don't want to do that. So if there's someone there who can tell EMS what time it occurred at or when the person was last known well, those are really important pieces of information.
Okay, all of it's important. Thanks so much, Doctor.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back with Mike Syka's Weekend.